I've skipped a day in this challenge in case you hadn't noticed. The day I skipped was day 9, a book you thought you wouldn't like but ended up loving. I try to make a point to not judge books before I've read them, with the exception of very few. And the books that I do judge before I read them usually remain unread, if only because I'm arrogant enough to think that I don't need to read them to reaffirm my beliefs. So I skipped to day 10, your favourite classic book, and I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about a book that I should probably shut up about once in a while. The Catcher in the Rye. For those of you who don't know, The Catcher in the Rye is a book by J.D. Salinger about a boy named Holden Caulfield who gets kicked out of his preparatory school and spends a few days in New York City alone while avoiding facing his parents about the fact that he's been kicked out of another preparatory school. One of the arguments I always hear against Catcher is when people say, "It's so boring, nothing happens." Despite the fact that no, this is completely untrue because a lot happens, it's important to note that the journey that is taken is less physical and more emotional. Holden is a filthy liar and an extremely unreliable narrator, so the only truth we can find is through his actions and behaviour rather than what he tells us about his actions and behaviour. Throughout the book, his body actually completely shuts down, and by the end he's really ill, because the mental breakdown that he's been lying to us about this whole time is finally reflected in a physical way that he can't lie about, and so the reader sees the truth. While in New York, Holden puts on and takes off his red hunting cap that he got for $1 before being kicked out of school. He asks cab drivers where the ducks go when the pond freezes over. He chats up some nuns. He sits at a phone booth for long minutes before realizing that he has no one to call. He hires a prostitute, and even she won't talk to him. He breaks into his own house to see his little sister and goes on a date with a girl he doesn't even like. Holden Caulfield is an incredibly dislikable character. He's a pathological liar, he's arrogant and selfish and has a terrible attitude. He's incredibly real and unfortunately relatable. And although J.D. Salinger would probably prefer that we don't analyse the way the museum never changes or the way Holden acts like a grown-up when he's still a child and at the same time wishes he was still a child, literally every single word of this book is a beautiful metaphor for change and loneliness and adulthood versus innocence. So the part I'm going to read now is when Holden talks to his little sister Phoebe about being a catcher in the rye, which is what the book is obviously named after. "Lawyers are alright, I guess, but it doesn't appeal to me," I said. "I mean, they're alright if they go around saving innocent guys' lives all the time, and like that. But you don't do that kind of stuff if you're a lawyer. All you do is make a lot of dough and play golf and play bridge and buy cars and drink martinis and look like a hotshot. And besides, even if you did go around saving guys' lives and all, how would you know if you did it because you really wanted to save guys' lives? Or because you did it because you really wanted to be a terrific lawyer, with everybody slapping you on the back and congratulating you in court when the goddamn trial was over, the reporters and everybody, the way it is in the dirty movies? How would you know you weren't being a phony? The trouble is you wouldn't." I'm not too sure old Phoebe knew what the hell I was talking about. I mean, she was only a little child and all, but she was listening at least. If somebody listens, it's not too bad. "Daddy's going to kill you. He's going to kill you," she said. I wasn't listening, though. I was thinking about something else, something crazy. "You know what I'd like to be," I said. "You know what I'd like to be? I mean, if I had my goddamn choice." "What? Stop swearing." "You know that song, 'If a body catch a body coming through the rye'? I'd like, it's 'If a body meet a body coming through the rye,'" old Phoebe said. "It's a poem by Robert Burns." "I know it's a poem by Robert Burns." She was right, though. It is. "If a body meet a body coming through the rye." I didn't know it then, though. "I thought it was 'If a body catch a body'," I said. "Anyway, I keep picturing all these little kids playing some game in this big field of rye and all. Thousands of little kids and nobody around the edge. Nobody big, I mean, except me. And I'm standing at the edge of some crazy cliff. What do I have to do? I have to catch everybody if they start going over the cliff. I mean, if they're running and they don't look where they're going, I have to come out from somewhere and catch them. That's what I do all day. I'd just be the catcher in the rye and all. I know it's crazy, but that's the only thing I'd like to be. I know it's crazy." Old Phoebe didn't say anything for a long time. Then when she said something, all she said was, "Daddy's going to kill you."